Welcome to the first of week two's e-lectures. All of the 3 e-lectures this week are going to be exploring the advertising and marketing communication tools, how we choose the tools to use in your campaign for your final year project, planning a campaign, and also how to cost out a campaign. So in this first e-lecture, we're going to be introducing the 5 tools of marketing communications. Don't forget, while you're listening to these lectures, just write notes of which tools might be relevant for your chosen brand and any thoughts or ideas that might spring to mind about how you could apply these to your campaigns. And don't forget, you can pause these e-lectures at any point and give you time to write your notes or to read what's on the screen. So in our face-to-face session, we're going to be looking at various case studies, and you're going to be asked to plan out a campaign based on an advert using an integrated approach. The promotional mix can be divided into 5 marketing communications tools. So for your final year project, I'm going to be looking to see a selection of these tools used together in your campaign to help you achieve your campaign objective. So the 5 tools are advertising, public relations, direct marketing, sales promotion, and personal selling. We're now going to look in turn, in detail, at each of these tools so that you can consider if you would like to use these tools in your campaign. Obviously, as this is a creative advertising degree, the main focus for your campaign needs to be your advert, and that needs to be supported by one or more of the other tools. So the main role of advertising is to build awareness and reposition a brand. It can also be used successfully to create a competitive advantage by framing a product or a service in a certain way. Advertising is, generally speaking, not so good at provoking or changing behaviour. Normally a different mix is necessary to stimulate change, for example, a sales promotion, direct marketing, or personal selling. Advertising is really good, though, at reaching a large audience, but it's got a really high cost, both to buy the advertising space and a high cost to reach per member of the target audience. So, but there's more of a shift of a focus now away from mass communications and an increase in direct marketing in response to weakening of advertising. So when you're planning out which advertising media you're going to be using for your campaign, there's obviously a huge variety of media that you can choose from, including TV, radio, cinema, magazine adverts, newspaper adverts, out-of-home adverts, pay-per-click or AdWords, display adverts, YouTube adverts, paid sponsorship adverts on social media. You could have website pop-ups, overlays, banners. So you need to think which is most appropriate to reach your target audience and to convey the message that you're trying to convey with your campaign. Traditionally, advertising is in one direction, from the client or the agency to the audience. However, more and more consumers are now rejecting this model and creating and distributing their own adverts, often as videos. Users may, for example, create their own adverts because they enjoy the process, or they want to self-promote, or because they want to help change perception. So in the face-to-face session, we're going to be looking at how 3 use the pony mixer to encourage consumers to create their own music mixes and promote the brand for them. So have a think about whether this kind of approach would work for your brand and for your campaign. Guerrilla marketing was originally used by the music industry. It's basically fly posting. It's an unpaid or illegal promotional activity, And actually, because it's not paid for, it's not really considered as advertising. It is a really good tactic potentially to gain short-term visibility, and really this term is used to describe any activity outside the jurisdiction of paid for media. So it's low cost, it's unconventional, and it might include graffiti, sticker bombing, fly posting, flash mobs, viral marketing campaigns. So you need to consider if the use of guerrilla marketing would really match the values of your chosen brand and be appropriate for your campaign. The role of public relations, or PR, is to develop a relationship between the organisation and its audience. It can support the overall brand and promote specific products. PR is also used to provide visibility for the corporate body. For example, this piece of coverage here for SpaceX. Except where retaining an agency and paying a monthly fee, the cost for PR is minimal and really quite low compared to the cost of advertising. So when you hear about a company or its products through a third party, for example, a journalist or a blogger, we generally give this message far more credibility than if the message came directly from the brand or the company. So PR is really valuable in providing credibility to a brand. However, what you gain in credibility is potentially lost in the fact that you don't necessarily control the message, because you can't control what journalists, for example, write about you. So with PR, the relationship between the PR person and the journalist is really key to success. And the internet is really used as an extension to traditional PR, where we can now have a two-way conversation with the audience. If you wanted to, you could explore a tool such as Social Mention, which can measure the overall online reputation of a brand. There is a link to the tool Social Mention in this week's resources if you want to explore that. So if you're using PR in your campaign, it could include using press releases, holding a press conference, interviews, doing an event or a publicity event, sponsoring events, or anything to do with crisis management. So sponsorship is essentially a mix of advertising without the harshness and PR, but with more control. It's used to raise awareness, change perception, increase loyalty, and also to develop relationships with customers. There has been recently a significant increase in the use of sponsorship, particularly on TV. And in part, this is actually due to adverts being skipped more and more. So you need to consider if there are any events or TV programs that might be appropriate for your brand to sponsor. Direct marketing allows direct precision communications with a customer or your target audience. So it can help a brand develop long-term relationships, and messages can be personalized. It's a really cost-effective approach because there's really minimal wastage to the method, because you're sending it directly to the intended audience. So direct marketing could include use of direct mail via the postal system. And if you do this, all kinds of printed promotional material or objects could be sent in the post. And the use of physical mail with a strong creative idea can be really effective. Alternatively, you could put inserts into newspapers, or you could use email marketing, where the messages can be highly personalised. Direct marketing is often used in combination with a sales promotion, such as a special offer or a discount, to evoke a direct response. So you need to consider if an email campaign or a postal direct marketing campaign might be appropriate to help you fulfill the objective for your campaign. So personal selling is a two-way communication between the salesperson and a customer or a potential customer. It's quite a relatively expensive way of communicating with customers, as often the objective for a sales assistant is to convert prospects into clients and maintain their existing customers. So you need to consider if there's any messages for your campaign that might be best delivered in person. So, for example, a person working in the till in a McDonald's that asks if you want to supersize your meal is communicating a message for the brand and increasing the value of the sales made. Sales promotion. So you need to consider if the use of a sales promotion would help you achieve the objectives for your brand. Some high-end brands would never use a sales promotion as it wouldn't really fit with their brand image. Other companies, on the other hand, have a near permanent sale. Ideally, these discounts or offers should only really be available for a limited amount of time to be effective. And long-term sales can really damage brand perception. So consider if a discount or a bog off or a buy one get one free offer could be appropriate in your campaign. On the screen now, you can see a search engine results page, or SERP for short. Have a look at how your brand appears on the search engine results page if you do a search for your brand name or one of their products. Consider the fact that 64% of web traffic comes from search engines, and only 2% actually comes from social media. So if one of the aims of your campaign is to drive traffic to a website or increase online sales, the use of search is probably going to be essential for your campaign to be working effectively. So search engine optimization and pay-per-click advertising or AdWords may need to be considered as part of the overall communication strategy. It's an ideal opportunity to communicate brand messages, drive website traffic, and use some interesting copy as part of the overall campaign. There are a couple of online videos about search engine optimization and pay-per-click in the resources section for this week. So make sure you have a look at those videos if this is an area you want to explore further. There are many other elements that you may wish to consider to include in your campaign for your project that I haven't described so far. So, for example, the use of product placement, where Volvo was used in the Twilight Saga series to target parents. You may suggest and design a stand at an event or a festival, or devise some sort of brand experience. You may try and come up with a viral marketing idea. Very tricky. If you're rebranding or launching a new product, you might wish to design some product packaging that fits with your campaign. It might be a brand alliance would work to help position your product. So the example here you can see on the screen is a Wensleydale cheese cookery book, which is done in collaboration with Wallace and Gromit. It may be, as part of your campaign, you need to mock up a microsite, an app or a landing page, or it could be that you suggest writing a blog or a travel blog which promotes your brand. Likewise, a series of podcasts could help you achieve the objective for your brand. It will likely be important that your brand is found easily on search engines. So are you going to include that in your campaign message? Could the product you are promoting be demonstrated using augmented reality? So have a think about whether all of these different methods will help you achieve your objectives for your brand, and take a note of these. And then please watch the second e-lecture, where we'll be looking at how to plan the media for your campaign.